Alright, Birdie, this is the lesson video, the first one. Let me set my timer real quick. I tried to upload your exit slip video and YouTube said I met my quota for the day, that I couldn't upload any more videos. So, we'll see if you get this video or not. I'll try my best. I had to send in my driver's license picture so they can verify my identity. Alright, so the first thing I want you to get out from your notebook is this, my name in fractions. So we're going to look at that first. Okay, and I apologize for the way your notebook looks. I gave that job of gluing your pages to a student. I should not have done that. I'm so sorry. And I didn't have time to fix it. So I definitely didn't do that. I wouldn't have done that to you. And I apologize. I tried to delegate a job. Imagine that. Alright. So this is the fraction page. It says my name in fractions. It's elongated this way. So what you want to do is in the center, you write your name. I'm going to use my first name because my last name is the same amount of letters. My middle name is even smaller. So my first name is A-L-A-N-A. Sorry for the noisy table. I'm at home. This is a very noisy table. You don't have to use all caps. I just chose to. You'll have 6 letters in your name. And then now you're going to answer these questions at the bottom. My name has this many equal parts. Well, just count the letters. You'll have 6. I have 5. Each letter of my name represents the unit fraction. So each letter represents 1/5. Remember we talked about unit fractions just a tiny bit. The fractions of vowels. Well, you got to know what a vowel is. A vowel is A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. You don't have a Y, neither do I, so we don't have to worry about that. So count how many vowels you have. I think you have 3. So I have 3/5. If you have 3/6, what does 3/6 simplify to? Because if 3 can go into 6, then it's not simplified. And if 3 is half of 6, we can write that as a fraction, as 1/2. The fraction of consonants in my name is, well, I have 2. So mine is 2/5. Since you have 3 vowels, you must have 3 consonants. And that's also half. Number line's a little tricky. Yours will be simple. You just cut this in half. And then you'll need 3 on this side, 3 on this side. But this is a number line. You'll learn a lot about that. I, on the other hand, that's the middle. And so maybe that. I don't know. I'm going to mess this up. But anyway, split that number line into, for you, 6 pieces. I'll have to play with this a little bit. Let me just draw a dotted line for the center. I have 2. And I have 1, and then I need 2 on each side. Oh yeah, that looks a little better. Definitely not perfect by no means. Let me scoot it over a little bit. It's the only way to learn these. Just keep erasing if you need to. So we have 1. So A would go here. L, A, N, A. So go ahead and finish yours out. And then get your notebook out when you're done with that. I'm going to put my phone down for a moment. Alright, so your notebook should be already open probably because that page was inside of it. And this is called Fraction Vocabulary Puzzles. Okay, so I'm going to give you a list of words. I'm going to write them down on that piece of paper that was on my exit slips. And then you're going to match them the best you can. I have papers everywhere. So we did talk about this word, or set of words, unit fraction. And we talked about numerator. We talked about denominator. The word fraction, of course, because that's what this whole thing is about. There's 3 of these standards. So we're on the first one for fractions. We talked about part. So with those 5 words, try to match their definition. So you work on that for a few. I'm going to finish writing the words down. And you can pause the video if you need to. Alright, hopefully you paused the video and tried to figure out these 5 words that I gave you at the top. So let's look at these. Let's start with the first definition. It says part of a number. Well, our topic is fractions. And that is what fraction means. It's just part of a number. It's not the whole thing. Number in a fraction that shows how many parts are taken. You could substitute that word for shaded. It's really whatever they're asking for, but shaded is often the word that they use when they ask, what is the shaded fraction of this shape? So we know that to be the top number. And the top number in a fraction is called the numerator. So make sure you're writing all this down. And then the next one, it says the number of parts that the whole is divided into. And this is the bottom number. Do you remember that word? Denominator. Bottom number. Number of parts that the whole is divided into. So it's the total parts. Make sure you write that. Fractions that are equal in value. Well, we already used unit fraction, numerator, denominator. We did not use unit fraction. We are about to use that one though. So is it unit fraction or part? That doesn't sound like it would be either of those. So let's look at the next one. A fraction with the numerator that is greater than its denominator. That doesn't sound like anything we've learned yet. A number that has a whole number in an improper fraction or proper fraction. A fraction that has a numerator of 1. That's definitely a unit fraction. That's the exact definition. And we practiced that on our exit slips. a piece or only some of something? Well, we cut our objects into pieces or group them into pieces, and those are called parts or part. So we've used all 5. Now let's look at these words: equivalent, improper fraction, mixed number. Pause the video, see if you can figure out the last 3 definitions. All right, so you should have paused and tried to figure out those. On these, you're just, like if you make a mistake, you just erase and put in the correct thing. We're not checking with the pen or anything like that. We're doing these together. Okay. Fractions that are equal in value. Well, this word equivalent has those first 3 words that are in equal. Or 3 words, 3 letters. So equivalent. And the next one is a fraction with a numerator that is greater than its denominator. So if you see a fraction that has, for example, 12 over 3, does that look proper? Answer is no. So this is called an improper. Use that. So this would be improper. It's not the proper way to write fractions. Sometimes it's easy to add or subtract them if they're improper. But our final answer should not be improper unless the question is asking for it. So the last one has to be mixed number. Let's take a look. A number that has a whole number and a proper fraction. So for instance, if I gave you 3.5 pieces of a Hershey bar, that's a mixed number because a whole number is mixing in with a fraction. So it's mixed number. All right. Turn the page. And what I want you to do is I want you to take the definition page from here, and I want you to write the definitions under your flaps. Okay? I'm going to put the phone over this, and you can pause the video. And you can use mine so you don't have to flip back and forth if you'd like. It's totally up to you. So pause the video and complete the vocab page for me. There's only 3 on this side and 3 on the other side. And there's 8 on that page. So you're only using 6 out of the 8. So go ahead and do that. Pause the video, write in the definitions under your flaps. Okay, so if you did the definitions and got those done, great. Now it is called numerator and denominator. And it says write about the similarities and differences between numerators and denominators under the flaps. This is called a Venn diagram. I don't know if you've ever heard of a Venn diagram, but this is what a Venn diagram is. It's 2 circles and they overlap each other right here in the center. So when you draw them, you draw a big circle and then another big circle, and it comes inside the other circle. So it kind of has a circle inside of a circle. And this information is only about numerators. This information is only about denominators. And in the center, it's something that they both have in common. What do numerators and denominators have in common will be written under this flap. And when you do these circles, that's where it's written too. It's written in this area right here. Okay, so what do we know about numerator? Let me look at my pages. And write this down. Shows how many parts are taken or shaded and it's the top number in a fraction. I apologize if you hear background noise. My mom is watching the TV with it loud. If you didn't have enough time to do that, just pause the video and write that down. Denominator shows how many total parts the whole number is divided into. Total is the key word there. The bottom number in a fraction. Shows how many total parts the whole number is divided into. The bottom number in a fraction. If you need more time, pause the video and write that information in. Now under both, what is it that they have in common? Well, together they make, what are we learning about? Fractions. Simple as that. Need more time, pause the video and write that. Here's both, here's the whole thing. I'm going to stop that video there because the other stuff is more time consuming and my time's almost up. So I will be back with some more.